Welcome to the OT Roundtable, episode number 6. Who are the Roundtablers? The OT Roundtable is a podcast where we discuss a wide range of topics related to the field of occupational therapy. We're here to shed light on things that are happening within our profession and bring awareness to these topics through raw and honest conversations. So let's meet the Roundtable. I'm Sarah Putt from OT for Life, and we've got Michelle from Incorporate Mindfulness. How are you, Michelle?
Doing good, excited, and a little nervous.
So ready for today. And rounding out the roundtable today, we've got Brock Cook from the Occupy podcast. How's it going, Brock?
It's going well. It's going well. I'm pumped for today. I'm keen to see what comes out of it.
You and me both. And our guest panelist today is, well, actually, wait, we don't have a guest panelist today. It is only a co-host roundtable for this episode. And basically, we're just going to do a rapid fire round of questions that we're going to be asking each other. And just so you know, we do not know what the other roundtablers are going to ask. We have no idea what their questions are on the roundtable today. So I hope you're ready to learn everything you've ever wanted to know, and maybe even more about Brock, Michelle, and myself today. Let's jump into it. First question. You guys ready?
Oh dear.
As I'll ever be.
Let's do it. We're ready.
Go.
All right. This is kind of going to be a two-part question here. So, first part, 1 or 2 words. That's all you get. 1 or 2 words. What originally got you into occupational therapy, or what got you interested in occupational therapy?
Monkey broccoli.
What? Monkey broccoli?
Yep.
What'd you say?
Yep.
Okay.
Sarah knows.
Is that really how you say broccoli? It's broccoli?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. That's how I say it.
Yeah, I love
Didn't
that.
know there was another way.
Just sounds
Okay, Michelle.
so more edible and
1 or
appetizing.
2 words.
Sounds like I want to eat broccoli now. Oh, shoot. 1 or 2 words of what got me into OT?
Yep.
You're not going to explain the broccoli? Okay.
We will. We'll get there.
1 or 2 words. Well, I brain injury. I'm gonna have to explain why later.
It sounds like you had a brain injury. And
I know.
decided
That's
to
why.
do
Brain injury.
I
That's
was
the
like-
only thing I can think of.
I'm like, why are you
Here's a
laughing with that one? Okay.
I know.
So yeah, Michelle, go. Tell the story. Actually, how about I guess I should say mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
My 2-word, ball pit. Probably not as interesting as what you guys just
See,
said.
that one
but
kind of makes sense, though. I can see how that would work.
Yep.
You don't see why brain injury. You need to tell us broccoli.
Yeah, mine's a bit random.
I think yours is the.
It doesn't get
Okay,
any
Brock,
less
you go first.
when I tell you that Monkey Broccoli was a sock puppet.
Oh.
So
That's what I thought you were going to say, because I forgot his name.
yeah, no, the name's
Sock
much
puppet.
more random. Yeah, so I had a mate who was studying OT when I was studying something else, and I was looking for something else to study. And I walked past his room when we lived on college, which I think you guys call, I don't know, dorms, on campus in combination anyway. And he was heavily inebriated playing guitar with a sock puppet. And I was like, what the hell is going on? It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I went and had a chat to him. The sock puppet's name was Monkey Broccoli because it was a monkey that looked kind of like a broccoli, apparently. And he told me that he'd made it in class that day in some like arts and crafts type class for his OT course. And I was like, okay, this sounds weird. So yeah, did some research and the rest is history. So Monkey Broccoli got me into see, now you got me saying broccoli.
Broccoli. I know.
Broccoli.
The way you say it was much nicer.
So, yeah.
I love that. I want a picture. Can you find a picture of this,
They're
this
actually,
guy?
Of the guy or of the puppet?
Of the either one. I think I
Yeah.
prefer the puppet.
I really want to try and find a photo because it turned out it blew up after a while, and the whole university knew about Monkey Rockaway at one point.
Yeah.
It
I
was
think
just
you
one
should
of
be
those
like the mascot
things.
today
So I need
for
to
the
find. I
episode.
need to see if I can find a photo.
Oh, it should be
I
like
love
one of
that
those
story.
pictures with like a dreamy filter in the back, like your inspiration for becoming an OT.
Like a cat poster with a motivational saying.
Yes.
Oh, I
I
like
love
that. Or like a rally
Oh.
monkey that's like hanging in the back.
Yeah.
Right? So you can like have it in the back of your screen right now.
That'd be rad.
Okay. And I'm
Dang
crying.
it.
All right. What a way to what a way to start this episode off. All right, Michelle. What
Oh
you
man,
got?
I wish I would have
Pulling this brain
had thought of a
injury.
better. I know, and I was not. I was just laughing because I couldn't think of any. I knew that by just saying that it seemed super random. That I wasn't. So I'm glad I get to tell you. But so I became an occupational therapist. I had actually never heard about OT, and I was getting ready to graduate with my bachelor's degree, and unfortunately, one of my really close friends, her brother was in a biking accident and he suffered a traumatic brain injury that was pretty severe. And so he was not in Utah at the time. He was in a different state. And so I was reading their journals over Caring Bridge about his recovery, which was a really, really long recovery. And he was working with an occupational therapist that was like teaching him how to do things again and play the guitar. And so that's how I heard about OT. But the cool, like full round circle story of it is actually he is now becoming an OT. So he has made an amazing recovery, and I became an OT because of him. And now he's shadowed me, and he's in school right now to become an occupational therapist.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Amazing.
really cool.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Tell us your story.
Awesome. Okay, so my ball pit. I had graduated from undergrad, and I was working at a school district. I was working at like a preschool, and all the aides, all the colleagues that were in the classroom that I was in, they were like trying to figure out what I should do with my life. Of course, I should have been doing that, but they were like really trying to like funnel me into a direction. And they're like, you should do speech therapy or physical therapy. And then one day, one of the aides in the classroom was like, you'd make a really good OT. And at that point, I was like, I have no idea what that is. I've never heard of it. They're just letters to me. So fortunately, one of the kiddos that I was working with received occupational therapy services. So I went with him one day and we walked down they had like a little clinic on campus, little sensory clinic. And I walked down with him and I remember like opening the door and my eyes lit up, the little kid's eyes lit up, and it was just like ball pit, scooter board, all these toys. And I'm like, I don't even know what this is all about, but this looks absolutely amazing. And I met the OT that was there, and she was fantastic and so passionate about her job and just absolutely loved what she was doing. And I'm like, this is it. So the ball pit, it just hooked me.
I love it. Did you jump in the ball pit? Have you jumped in the
sure
ball pit as an adult? Okay.
When I used to work in the clinic, yes. Now I actually don't really prefer ball pits because I know how unclean they are.
I don't think that one's coming back after COVID, right? Like, I don't know if any place will have ball pits anymore.
That one's been canceled.
Sad. Yeah,
that
ball pit's been
has
canceled.
Yeah.
All right, Brock, how about you go next?
All right. No explanation. You're going to karaoke. What are you singing?
You're going to have to cut out some of these long pauses here.
You just have to think faster. It's rapid fire.
No, I know. I can't remember what the name of the song is.
Sing it then.
Oh, no.
I've sang it one time, and so I don't know. I guess it was Bonnie Raitt, and gosh,
I know.
Oh, let's give them something to talk about. Let's give them something to talk about. Yep, that was it. Obviously,
That's a good
you know,
one.
yeah, it's a good one.
Oh my gosh. I used to sing this song all the time. Okay, so I was kind of a weird, crazy person about like karaoke revolution. And I had this one song, and it's on the tip of my tongue. Hold on.
So while you're doing that, so mine would be easily Dandy Warhol's Bohemian Like Me. Bohemian Like You. It's my all-time happy song. It's one of those songs where doesn't matter how crappy a day you've had, you can't be mad while you're listening to that song. It's just too chipper.
Could you give us a couple lines from that?
I couldn't do it justice. It would just ruin the whole like happy song thing.
So have you done it before, or that's what you would pick? Or do you actually sing it
Both.
at karaoke? Okay, so you have done it before.
I've had my moments.
Okay, I remember. I got it. Are you ready? This will probably not be anything you would ever picture me to sing, but this is totally my go-to song.
Is it Rammstein?
No. Oh. It's by Fuel, and it's called Hemorrhage.
Yep.
Is that like, it sounds like a shouting
no,
song, is it?
It's not.
Really?
No.
Oh, it sounds like a heavy metal. Okay.
No. It does kind of, the
Hemorrhage.
name would kind of sound like that, but no, it's like a classic rock kind of vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like the end of this should be a medley of our tunes.
We'll just sing them.
Right.
All right, Michelle, you're up.
Okay. So you know you're an OT when you can't stop analyzing this about somebody. So like, you know, you're an OT when you go somewhere and the first thing that you're paying attention to is blank.
I got two.
Okay.
If I'm with adults,
have a ball pit.
Yeah. If I'm with adults or like at say like the supermarket or something like that, it would be their grasp and their handwriting. If there are kids involved, I'm watching like their gait and how they're moving and how they're interacting with their environment. So, yep.
Yep.
See,
Brock, what do you overanalyze?
Life. I don't know. I don't really look at that, honestly. Not from an OT point of view. I analyze OTs. So the first thing when you said that, the first thing that came to mind is OTs and like just color coding everything. I'm like, I know I'm looking at an OT, but that's not your question. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really look at that kind of stuff.
What about like activity analysis? Like you're doing something,
no.
like anything? Is my brain the only one that works that way? Sarah's not.
Nope. Nope. I'm the same way.
We never really do a lot of that, so not really.
Do you prejudge somebody? You're like, you're going to be a good student.
Usually.
Okay, no. So maybe that's what you're doing.
Maybe. I feel like you should study OT. That sounds like OT. I try and find OT in non-OT things.
Well, maybe it's just Sarah and I. I totally. I wonder if it's a Pete's thing too. So I analyze everybody's handwriting. Like I'll be at a restaurant and somebody's taking down my name for a wait list, and I'm like, that is a weird grasp. Interesting. And then I'll point it out, and nobody else cares about it.
Or then they're like, "Can you look at mine? What am I doing? How do I do it?" And then they get all like weird about it. They're like, "Oh, you're analyzing everything I'm doing."
Yep. I would say I notice people's like gait, like the way they walk too. Like I'm not as skilled by any means as a PT at gait, but like our kids crawling or movement too. I do the same. But if there's somebody like walking down the street and they have an interesting gait, I'm like, wonder if they had a stroke. And then my brain starts going to all the possibilities. So
that's mean.
Well, no, it's not random a mean thing. It's like
I wonder if they've had a stroke. No, they just walk with a limp.
Well, but that's what we do. We analyze movement. So it's like, I'm curious, like, I wonder what the reasoning is behind that, right? Like, that's what we do. It's not a judgmental.
Us too. So they're like, why is that girl walking funny?
Right.
You know, whatever. Okay. So we're going to keep it like super superficial here. Okay. I don't want you to think too in depth about this question. And this is actually a game that I love to play with my single friends. I know that we are all with significant others, but that's what's going to make it even more fun. Are you ready? What is your relationship deal breaker? So again, superficial. You would not even consider talking to this person if you were single because of blank.
And it has to be a significant other,
Like
or like somebody
like
we would be attracted to.
Interest, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
or well,
a deal breaker.
Be, right? Yeah, a deal breaker.
Drugs.
But that's only if they're doing it. Unless you could tell.
You know they do drugs.
Are
they smoking?
Yeah. This is superficial.
Sarah, I think this question makes us look bad.
Yeah, my God. I'm starting to analyze my own personality now. Like,
how
judgmental can I be?
Superficial are we? I'm curious,
Yeah.
Brock. Do tell.
I don't know. This is a deep question. I think I need a psych.
Okay, I'll go. Do you want me to go, Brock?
Yeah, you go.
I think I would have a hard time being with somebody who doesn't have a sense of humor. Like they're way too uptight and critical, like too rigid. I think sometimes I have a hard time with that.
That's a good one.
That's probably mine.
I think for me, probably someone who was like super clingy. I don't know. I don't deal with that very well because I like to, I have random hobbies and stuff, and I like to just go out and do things. And someone who would, I think that would be it.
Okay, well, now I'm going to be the one that looks really bad because mine's like really superficial, but that's fine. I'll own it.
I need abs.
Long hair.
You don't
I
like
can't
long hair.
stand, no, men with long hair.
You don't like the man bun. Oh,
no.
love a good man
Hence
bun.
the fact that I married a guy that has no hair. So, I went like the opposite end of like bald.
Starts growing back. She's like, shave it. It's too much.
Oh, I'll tell him you need a haircut. Yeah. So
what do you think? You just don't want because you have beautiful hair. You don't want any. Can't have somebody with better hair, huh? What do you think?
You don't have to share your shampoo.
I just don't find it attractive. It's just not my. Like some people like they're weird about eyes and they're weird about like certain attributes, and I understand like you can cut hair, but initially, again, we're talking super superficially here. If I saw somebody that had long hair, even if they were like the most beautiful person, I'd be like, oh, long hair.
So like Brad Pitt when he's got his long hair.
No.
Really?
No.
I love a good like run in the hand through the hair. See, so I'm like on the. I love and I think it's because I really wish I could have long hair like you, Sarah. And so like the idea, I'm here for it. I am here for it. I got to have some facial hair.
I don't want my guy to be like, hey babe, can I borrow a hair tie? Like, no.
That's like common interest. I don't know. Weird. Well, there you go. That is interesting.
It could be a common interest, sharing hair ties. Oh my gosh.
Comparing beauty routines and products and stuff.
No.
Sounds amazing.
I brought you up.
All right. List 2 pet peeves. We kind of just did a relationship one, but just 2 pet peeves for you. It doesn't have to be a relationship, just things that grind your gears. Only 2. Narrow it down.
I know one right off the top of my head. I cannot stand. You guys are going to think I'm so weird after this episode.
Already did.
True. I cannot stand seeing people touch their belly buttons.
Where do you hang out? Where are you hanging out that you're seeing people touch their belly buttons?
I love that answer.
Okay, I'm from California.
Like
we go to the beach a lot.
Yeah.
People are out in their
bathing
bathing
anyone
suits.
touch
And if
their
they're
belly
like,
button.
They get sand in their belly button.
Lotion or, yeah. Also, working in pediatrics, there's, hey, where are your eyes? Where's your nose? Where's your belly button? So I have to ask this question. I'm always like, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
So even when you ask them where it is, it grinds your gears when they actually do what
you provoked them.
doing.
That's why
You're an
doing
enabler.
Because they think they think it's funny, and so I have like I'll ask the question and then I'll like look away.
That's
And
probably
I
why
like
they
I
think
just
it's funny. They get your reaction.
I
I
can't.
would too.
I can't handle it. Okay, my other one, and this would be because of podcasting and editing. Oh, it's filler words now. When I talk to somebody and every other word is an or an ah, ugh, I
How are we friends?
can't. You're okay. You're not that bad.
I'm having some imposter
I
syndrome coming up.
Uh-oh.
I was talking to one friend and I swear every other word was an and I was just like, can you stop that? Like just say the freaking words. But yeah, so those would probably be my two big things now.
I will admit I edited. I got requested by one of my guests. I won't say which one. I won't call her out. To remove some of her ums and ahs, and I removed 180 something in an hour.
Oh.
I don't even think she realized how often she actually said it. And there was still some left in there because I'm like, I can't take everything out because then it stuffed up the audio. But yeah, 180. I was like, wow, it's like every second word. But she didn't touch her belly button, so it was all good.
We're safe.
We're good.
We're good.
We're all safe.
Life will go on.
Michelle,
Come on,
what
Michelle, what you got?
What
Okay.
ticks you off?
So I have a hard time with when I'm telling a story, and I'm a big picture type person, so I'm like trying to just tell the story, and somebody that keeps interrupting me, and they're like, "Oh well, wait, what about this?" And they want details that are like extraneous, like they're information that's like irrelevant. Like I'll be telling a story about, I don't know, this like. I don't even know how to explain it. Like you know, those people when you're trying to tell a story and they keep interrupting you. They're like, "Well, but where was that person from? Oh, well, why was that? What does that word mean?" And you're like, "This isn't a part of the story." Like I'm trying to get like this is that
Just
is
leave your questions
irrelevant. Can
until
we
the
move
end.
on? Yeah.
Raise your hand.
Forget that I said that word. Like let's just move on. Yeah, and yeah. So I hate that. This is more of an aversion, which actually brings me to my other question. But like the belly button thing, I have such a sensory aversion to anything with mucus or boogers. So anybody like touching their nose, or even if they're like itching or fiddling, stop rubbing your nose. I know. That is hard for me because anything with mucus, boogers, phlegmy sounds. So that is like a big pet peeve.
How do you even work in peds?
How do you work in winter?
Well, so yeah, my nieces and nephew, when they're over, and if they start getting a runny nose or they sneeze and like boogers pop out, I'll be screaming. I'll be like, "Chris, get a tissue!" Like something about it. Like I dry heave. Like I can't. So I would rather change a poopy diaper, anything like that. Yes.
Wow.
There's something. So, and men, I'm not going to call out anybody specifically, but men are like really notorious for picking their noses in cars. Someone I know. I cannot stand it. Like the finger just goes, and it, I can't deal with any sort of picking either. But that brings me to my question. I'm really curious.
A good thing.
Yeah, because I can't see what's happening in there. Yeah. I don't know if they have a booger. I can't tell. They can't get to it. Like there's so many positives. But that brings actually one of my questions was, now I'm curious. Like what is one sensory aversion that you have? So something that you're aversive to, and then something that like you're more sensory seeking. Sarah, I know you've probably thought about this being in peds.
Oh yeah, I'm like
Rock. You probably haven't. You don't think it's real, so.
What?
I'm just kidding.
I don't think it's. I sound like some sort of OT conspiracy theorist.
That's going to be our next episode. OT conspiracy theories.
Who is the real?
I can guess what one of yours is.
Mine?
No, one of Sarah's.
Oh, okay. I'm definitely sensory seeking visually. Aversions. Yeah, I don't know. Probably.
Like you need to be stimulated, and that makes sense. Like even when
Yeah.
we're doing our podcast, you have like 6 screens happening, and
I only have one now. It's just a really big
Okay.
one.
okay.
It's just like.
But then you have your phone out sometimes. Like you can withstand like so much input.
I can rarely get enough, which is probably the issue. Even like I think I've told this story on my podcast before. I get kicked under the table when we go to restaurants and stuff because I'm just like pinging around the room trying to get as much input as I can. There's stuff moving and noises, and well, not noises. Obviously, can't see those, but yeah, people moving and lights and all sorts of stuff, and yeah, and then I'll get kicked for not paying attention. Aversion, probably, I would say somewhat of a tactile aversion, like a touch. Certain clothing I find really like uncomfortable, like itchy type stuff. I usually will find one sort of type of shirt, that kind of thing, and just buy a heap of them. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say it's probably something to do with that.
Michelle, what do you
Okay.
think mine is?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I want to see
Now
what
I'm
you
curious.
got. Terrorists.
I feel like you're definitely like a movement seeker because you're always like wiggling in your chair. Yeah.
100%. That's, yep. I am a vestibular seeker, like to the, well, I shouldn't, not to the max. Like I'm not roller coaster level or like race car, like going super fast. That's not really it, but I need that like constant movement. And I think growing up riding horses, that's really how I like fulfilled that need. And playing soccer, like I was constantly in movement. So yeah, you nailed that. Was there anything else?
I don't know, Brock. Do you think of? I was mostly thinking of the movement, but now aversive. I mean, what is a
I
belly
would
button?
say
What sensory input is a belly
yeah.
button?
I would say she's aversive to loud noises and lots of noises.
She distracted by sounds. She's just sound like you.
She seems to pick up on a lot of sounds that no one else fucking hears.
Yeah, so you're right, but I wouldn't say it's loud noises. I would actually say it's like under a certain threshold that if it's just there, like if somebody's like talking outside, I'm just like, what? Can you go somewhere else? Like I'm busy here, right? So I think it's more like the lower level noises that really start to get me, because when I'm like out at say a restaurant or like in a large group of people, I'm like one of those people that literally I can hear what everybody else is saying while also still focusing on the conversation that I'm having. And my husband thinks I'm the weirdest person because I literally, like, there can be 5 conversations around me and I can tell you exactly what's happening in all of them and still maintain a really good conversation with the people that I'm talking to. So it's like this weird thing about sounds. My other thing I would say is also there's some tactile stuff going on. Like I don't like if you're on like a hardwood floor or something and there's dirt or there's a little bit of like graininess on it, and I can't stand like walking on bare feet with like that type of
That
stuff.
sounds like
So
OCD.
yeah. No, it's just a tactile thing and I just don't like it. So I keep my floors very clean.
Does
Always
grass
wear
or things
shoes.
like that bug you? Or going to the beach?
Yeah, what if
It's
you
more
actually
like the
work,
little
what if
sediment.
you're walking on dirt, like actual outside dirt? Doesn't
bother me.
worry you. It's just when dirt
Yeah.
is on floor.
Yeah, when it's only a little bit. So again, maybe it's this like lower threshold that my body's just like, no, I can't handle. But when it's like supposed to be there and there's a lot of it, no problem. Except growing up, I did wear tights like all the time. So I'd wear them to the beach. I'd wear them to the pool. So maybe that was, I don't know. That was another weird thing.
That's just a weird fashion.
Would you swim in tights?
I would take them off. So I'd wear them until I was about to get into the water. Then I'd go take them off and then swim. And then I'd put them back on before I go home.
Oh my gosh. You're giving me so much material for my other questions. They're all related.
Oh, yeah. All right. My turn, right?
Can I tell you my aversions? Really quick?
Say yours. I'm sorry.
I hate styrofoam. The texture of it, the squeak of it. Like both my twin and I, if we got a present for Christmas and we were opening it and there was styrofoam, like it's like in my bones. Like, do you not feel it's like nails on a chalkboard? Do you feel that way, Sarah? Do you get it?
I have the same thing with wool rugs. I don't know what it is.
Doesn't bother me.
From when I was a child. So like
Yes.
wool rugs when they like even now just thinking about it sends shivers down my spine. It's stupid, I know.
Yes.
But like the wool, like if it's folded over and rubbing against itself, just that like almost like a squeaky nut.
Yes, I actually know exactly what you're talking about. See, it's like a visceral, like, yes, that's exactly how I feel. If they like squeak next to each other, like, oh, I can feel it in my teeth. Ooh, even talking about it. So all my coworkers know, and we have Halloween coming up and we have all these like styrofoam pumpkins and they'll like walk by my desk and they're like squeaking. Oh, I hate it. But Sarah, I totally resonate actually with both of you guys. Like I'm kind of a mixture. I'm super auditorily sensitive. So if I'm at a restaurant, same thing, Brock, I get in trouble because I'm listening and paying attention and I'm looking around. So I sometimes position myself facing the wall because I know I'm going to get distracted. But I also, Sarah, I can also listen. So I'll be paying attention to all these conversations happening around the room. But the difference is that I am not good at then filtering and paying attention to like, then I will miss a ton of things of who I'm actually with in the conversation because I can't filter it out. So, okay.
Interesting. So if you both were not in OT, what would your job be?
Damn.
I snagged it first. Hopefully you have an answer then.
It was one of mine too.
I was just going to ask it. If I was not an OT, what would I be? That is a good question. I'm trying to think back of what I was thinking when I was looking at changing to OT. What are the options I was thinking about?
I'm
sorry, Michelle. I just totally touched my nose. And now every time I'm going to do that, I'm going to feel bad.
You can rub it. It's it's okay.
Just don't stick your finger up it.
Yeah.
I'm just touching my belly button. That sounded dirty. Just gonna move on.
I could very much have seen me still staying in health and going into something like psych, because that was an interest to me, even though like when I went into OT, I had no interest in getting into mental health at all. The psych stuff had always been, more of the behavioral type stuff, like why do people choose to do the things that they do, that kind
But something I thought you were moving off screen to itch your nose. Are you? You can itch your nose.
Sorry.
Well, no. So I have always been really interested in like functional medicine, so health, nutrition, like alternative medicine type stuff. And so I already teach yoga, and I really love that piece, like the mind body piece. But I think I would have loved to do some more training in functional medicine. So learning how different foods and like nutrients and stuff like that, more like holistic type practice.
See, I could see you like running a yoga retreat up in the hills somewhere.
And that is something, I mean, yeah. So I would love like some sort of like a wellness center. Yeah. With all that kind of stuff.
Growing your own vegetables and
yeah.
I can picture it now.
Could you?
I'm like, it doesn't even, you could do that. If you said that's what I'm going to do tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, she's going to go do that. Yeah.
Same.
100% believe it. What about you, Sarah?
You know me.
Those mountains. So, all right. Well, I would probably not be in healthcare. And my answer would be a craft beer travel guide, because I love to travel and I love traveling all over the world. And when I do that, I love finding all the local craft breweries. So how amazing would it be to like take people on trips around the world to all these amazing breweries, and I get to travel, I get to drink craft beer, and yeah, get paid for it.
How
So
amazing indeed.
I would love that. I
You
mean,
get a
I could
drink on
do
the
that
job.
yeah,
You could drink
yeah, and I
for a job. That would be amazing.
yes. And then I could also like do my own research. So then I go and like try things when I'm not taking people. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Research.
much research in the
Yeah.
field.
I do.
Just out on the field every weekend.
I might do some research tonight. We'll see.
I think I'm going to
Always
research
research.
tonight as well.
Yep.
All right, my go. If
Yeah,
you
do
could
it.
describe yourself as an animal, what would it be? First reaction. Don't think about it too much. Gut reaction.
I saw this one and I should have thought of an answer for it.
You were prepping. You're not allowed to
of one
prep. You
now.
weren't
Don't
supposed
think.
to.
Say it. Just say it. First animal that comes to mind.
Me,
Say it.
Michelle.
Oh, I know.
You want me to go?
Both of you.
Go
Well,
ahead.
mine was my first one that came up was this little guy that I was dancing around the. I'm obsessed with elephants, so I don't know, but so it just came to mind. I don't know if I consider myself, but they're super intelligent. They remember everything. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I do love elephants, and they're supposed to be really compassionate and like really remember things about their family and experiences that they've had. And so I love elephants.
Nice.
The best.
I like it. What about you, Sarah?
I think I'd have to go with a horse because I grew up riding horses. I love horses and they're like super loyal and beautiful and what's the word I'm looking for? Agile. There we go. And eloquent, and yeah,
And they don't have
just,
belly buttons.
They do,
Really?
in a sense, but they're under their belly, so you can't see it. I mean, unless you did one of those, but yeah.
Random.
So
fair enough.
Brock.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Probably some kind of bird, just because I like flying. I would like to fly. I think. I don't know what sort of bird. Doesn't really worry me. Maybe a top tier predator bird, just so nothing else is going to eat me. But yeah.
What's the bird there that are like vicious that people have to wear helmets during certain times of the weather again?
Oh, like a magpie.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a magpie.
We underestimate those
Everyone
magpies.
hates you.
Oh, okay. But they seem like we don't have those really here, but they seem like destructive. Like people are.
I might be like judgmental about it because I'm not a cyclist, but I feel like they're making a much bigger issue out of it than it actually is. And I know I'm going to get hate mail for saying that, but I'm like, it's a bird and you're a person and you're wearing a helmet. Mind you, I do have a friend that got busted up by
I feel like I'd be scared if a bird was swarming at my head, like trying to peck my head, for sure.
Yeah.
But
just ride faster. It's good encouragement.
Did you guys see that viral video of the dad that I laughed so hard.
It made the
his
news.
Kid is did it?
Yeah.
His kid is riding a bike and his kid is screaming and this magpie is like swooping down at him, and instead of the dad like helping his child, the dad is laughing his ass off and just taking a video of him.
Like all the way down the road past the dad and then all the way down the road the other side.
Such good parenting right there. That was awesome.
That would be me as a parent. Like, keep
but then
going.
us
This video's rolling.
in America, we were like, we didn't know it was a magpie, so we're like, this hawk. I don't know what people were captioning it, and I'm like, that's a magpie.
Nah, it's just a magpie. She'd be right.
Okay, a bird. I like maybe like a hawk.
Yeah, something to that effect.
I was thinking like pterodactyl. That would be freaking cool.
Because then I'd be dead.
We'd be.
You said predator.
Cool.
I was gonna say peacock.
I don't even think I want the explanation. I'm a little bit scared.
Peacocks don't really fly. They kind of like jump fly.
And they just walk around.
I love
It is the
peacocks.
male ones that look pretty though, so
They really are. They're Okay, is it my turn?
it is.
Okay, so I asked you guys to fill out a questionnaire. You ready for this?
Ready as I'll ever be.
So, had you
Ready.
guys heard of the Myers-Briggs personality test before taking this?
Yes.
You had.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'd never done it.
I correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's just like there's 16 different personalities, somewhere around there. And they're composed of different letters that tell you about your personality. So I asked you guys to take them, and I don't know what any of you are. I wish do you guys know some of the letters? Like, would it be fun to guess what you think somebody else is, or do you not?
I don't know what they are.
Okay, hold on. Let me do this.
You know.
So,
I want to see what
like,
you would guess.
Okay. So E means extrovert.
Do you think
So
that's either of us?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think Brock. I think you're an E. Well, now I don't know because of your comment earlier. I was gonna say, okay, I think Brock. I think you're an E, and I think Sarah, you're an I. Am I wrong?
I am an E.
You're an
I
E.
am an E.
Oh, you are an E too. Okay.
According to this test. Now, when I took it like a couple years ago, I was an I.
You're
But
a different person then.
I am an E now.
Okay. N, or what is the next letter? Obviously, I just gave away what mine is. Okay. I don't know the other one. I can't remember. It's intuitive and then something else. But do you guys know what the other letter is? Maybe, obviously, if you have it.
I can
Does
look it
maybe
up. Here we go.
So we have extrovert, introvert. I guess all of us are extroverts. I'm an E
It's
too.
an S.
So an N is intuitive and an S is sensing, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So Brock, any guesses on if we're intuitive or sensing?
Wow. I think you gave away that you're an N, but I would have said that you're an S if I had just those two options. So I would have got that wrong.
Oh, you would have? Okay. What do you think Sarah is?
I think she's an N as well. Given she had to look up what the S was.
Yeah. I was like, I kind of gave it away too.
I'll use my logic here.
Okay, what does the next letter mean? Do you know, Sarah? Do you have it up?
Yeah, give me a second. What is it? Where'd it go? There.
Because now I'm going to give myself away.
EISN. So it's thinking for T or feeling for F.
I'm going to guess Sarah's a T.
Ding, ding.
And Brock is a T.
Correct.
You're both T's. Okay, what do you think I am?
I would say feeling.
Yeah, I'd agree.
If you, you're right. I was gonna say if you don't say T, it's because you don't think I'm smart, but it's not true. Yes, I am an F.
See, even your reaction to that was feeling.
Yeah, I know everything. Oh no. Okay, what's the last one, Sarah?
It is judging J or perceiving P.
Oh my gosh, I totally know what you are now, Sarah. I bet. I think you're a J.
How did I give that away?
You're a J.
Maybe.
Yes. You're an ENTJ. I know exactly. Oh, I know your personality. Okay, what's Brock? J or P? P. You guys are the same? Are you both ENTJs? Oh my gosh, what the heck? Okay, is yours the commander? Are you guys the commander?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God, I'm with two commanders. Oh man, life is hard. Life is so hard for me.
What's yours?
Have
you
you
guys
just analyzed the entire podcast, like up until this point? You're like, now it all makes sense.
I'm like, suddenly I get it. No. So tell people what ENTJ is. It's actually a really, really great. I mean,
As
they're
in
all really interesting, but it's a
characteristics.
very like
Clearly.
dynamic. Yeah.
The
It's a
characteristics
great
it
quality.
says here is natural born leader and likes to be in charge. There's two of us here, so that's obviously we've
Yeah,
had that
see what I mean?
experience.
You guys like to be in charge.
Lives in a world of possibilities. Project orientated and focused on the task at hand. Logical and thoughtful before taking action. I don't think I've ever read anything that sums me up better.
To a fault. Yeah, to a
Uh,
T.
The logical.
can be a bit just planning things out before anything happens. Can be a bit of a perfectionist. Well-developed
Totally.
communication skills.
Oh my gosh.
What does it say for
Okay.
career? Oh, that's not a thing.
So was that where you just read like you're called
That
so
was
you're the commander.
characteristics. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what was yours?
Well, I am ENFP, the champion.
The champion.
That sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
That does
I kind of like the
Wasn't that your
champion.
song? Just
That
kidding.
sounds like you've just
Oh,
won
yeah.
a personality test.
I should have been the
We
champion.
are the
Oh.
champion.
It will be now. Next time she goes to karaoke, that's what she's going to think of. She's gonna have to
I'm
sing it.
gonna
This
take
is the
out my
song
true
of my
nature.
people.
This is who I am.
So what are your
Let's bring
characteristics?
something to talk about. So I am warm and genuinely interested in people. I enjoy being around people, able to relate with others and feel and think as they do. I dislike performing boring, mundane, or routine tasks. And I resist being controlled and directed by others, my commanders. Just kidding. You guys aren't controlling
What
it
a
all. It's just
team.
funny. It is. We have a good, well-rounded group. And then I'm usually able to grasp difficult concepts and theories with ease. So there you have it.
There you
It's
go.
kind of interesting. I don't know if I would have picked you guys having the exact same personality, though. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you guys are both like very
think,
self-directed, entrepreneurial type spirit. Like you created your podcast, all the things that you've done. I think it makes a lot of sense.
I think we
But
do, like when you look at the questions that this thing asks, I can definitely see how. I think we just apply it differently, which is probably why it would kind of mask to most people that we were the same.
mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, because I feel like some of those traits, Brock, like you come off across as so like easygoing that you don't like always portray that you're such a planner, like you were saying.
I think that's partly because it just comes so naturally now. It's not something I think about. It's just something I do.
Mm-hmm.
So like even this, like I knew, even though I didn't really plan any of these questions until 10 minutes before we started, like I knew what to do, I knew where to go, and I'd already mapped out what I needed to do, etc. Everything I needed to do was in my head. I just had to do it. So I think, yeah, it's just a perception thing, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I like it.
I know.
That is. I'm glad you came up with that one, Michelle.
I know. So I'll have some other, it's interesting. We'll have to see like what type of like celebrities or famous people, they have all that. And then like your communication style, it's really actually pretty interesting. So like I've seen lists of like ways to communicate with this type of personality, things not to say. Like one of mine, for example, is because I'm a big picture person that I'm like really curious about the outcome, that the nitty gritty details I get bothered by. Whereas you guys might be more about the process and the details. So it's just so interesting, the different personalities. Yeah.
Oh, I get like overwhelmed with big picture. I'm like, just tell me what I need to do now. Like, give me the next 5 steps. I'll do that. And then like, I'll work my way there. And I think this is like a huge difference between my husband and I, because he's always like, okay, we need to think about this big picture. Like, where are we going to be in 5 years? Where are we going to be in 10 years? And I'm just like, I don't know. Can we talk about like what we're having for dinner tonight? Like,
You decide that, and
Way
I'll
more
tell you
that
how we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's why we make a good team. We kind of the both sides. So.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. We've learned
Now-
to work through our differences.
We worked it out. What's your follow-up question to that, Sarah?
My follow-up question to that. Oh my God. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. What's one thing that you wish that other OT practitioners would stop doing right now?
Just one?
Hey, I mean, okay, if you got three, you can do three.
Or I wish they would stop being so scared to just talk about OT and occupation. Like, just do it. Simple. Not an exciting answer, but it makes a lot of sense.
I would elaborate on that even more, Brock, because I know this is totally like one of your soapboxes, but like the ability to define OT and not defining OT, saying it's like PT, or
Right.
by only using practice examples.
Yes. See, you know me.
I do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. Do you know what is yours, Sarah? I'm curious.
Definitely what I just said would be one of them, but I feel like that is instilled in me because I've heard Brock say it so many times. I think, and this ties into one of our episodes that we've already had, but I would like fieldwork educators to stop being crappy fieldwork educators and do a better job for their students. Yeah.
Don't ask for much.
Call them out.
Yeah.
Call them out.
That actually, that was exactly what I was thinking about. Was I wish that more OTs would have healthy boundaries. So, and that could be healthy boundaries of like accepting a student if you feel able to accept a student and that you're going to be able to do a good job, or also having some healthy boundaries and respect for themselves. So I see a lot of OTs, because we're in a caring profession, where they will give until they're completely drained. And at that point, they are no longer really taking care of themselves. They're putting their patients first so much that they really lose sight of themselves and self-care. So I think that that's something that I wish would change as well.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
I totally agree. What's your next deep, undeep question?
One food for the rest of your life. What is it?
Chips and salsa.
Wow, that was so fast. How did you answer that so fast, but some of these other ones you had to put so much thought into? Chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa.
Like hot, like spicy salsa.
Yeah. Homemade.
Said
or
that
like
with way too much enthusiasm. Like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Chips and salsa.
Not like from like a bottle or anything like that. Like
proper
homemade, really nice little spice, little jalapeno, little habanero in there. Yes.
The
All
look
day.
on your face is you like, I know what you're having for dinner now.
Yeah.
What's your favorite brand of salsa? Now we need to know.
Ooh, my favorite brand?
Or do you make yours on your own?
I do. So I make it on my own, and I kind of just have this like working recipe that I use, but sometimes I'll use just regular tomatoes. Sometimes I'll do like a green tomatillo based salsa. But I don't know if I would have a favorite brand, but there is a restaurant in Los Angeles. I should say it's like a kind of fast food, like between a fast food / restaurant type thing, and it's called LBJ, El Burrito Jr., and their salsa is just the best.
Well, there you go.
It's kind of making me hungry. Sounds good.
What about you, Michelle?
I'm going to stay in that kind of realm. Is it kale? I do
broccoli.
Kale.
broccoli. Yeah.
Spinach, actually. I like spinach better.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Good on.
I think, I don't know. I love so many different foods, but I feel like one food that I eat pretty much every single week that I never get sick of is tacos. Yeah. I could eat that.
The Mexican thing.
Even multiple. Yeah.
Yes.
I was sticking with
I feel
that.
like
I could
should
eat
say
that
burrito
multiple
now
times.
just to keep up the trend.
You should. Chimichanga.
Michelle and I
we
make a
got
good
enchilada.
team. Ooh, I love enchiladas too.
Look, you're about to drool. God, settle down. Jeez. Are you hungry or something?
It's almost dinner time.
It's getting to be my dinner time. Yeah, I'm ready.
It's almost
Oh, and
breakfast
coffee.
time.
I have a hard coffee is an addiction for sure. But that
Coffee
no,
is a
it's not
meal.
food.
I will give it that. No, that's okay. I accept that answer wholeheartedly. I would take coffee over alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifeblood. For me, I would say probably most Italian foods, but I would think if I could only have one, probably pizza. That's just easy, simple, my jam.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Thin crust, regular, like
No.
pepperoni. What I mean, we need specifics
Yeah.
You
here.
need specifics? Okay.
Yep. And do you
It
put
can't be
pineapple on your
thin.
pizza?
Oh God, no.
Yes.
I like the taste of pizza. If you have pineapple on your pizza, all you can taste is pineapple. Just eat a pineapple for dessert.
I really don't mind it.
It's too
I
overwhelming.
think I'm the
and it's
only
too sweet.
person these days. I don't ever order it, but I don't mind it.
Nah, my wife, that's all she eats, and I'm like, I can't stand it. It's like, bleh. Nah, it can't be thin crust because that just defeats the purpose. I'm like, you may as well just get a bowl of topping, which probably wouldn't be bad either, actually. Pretty much any meat, like I'm easy. Or it can supreme meat, whatever. Chicken is always a good one. I'm not a big fan of the seafood ones. I know people like putting seafood on pizza nowadays, but I'm like, it just doesn't add up. Actually, although one of the weirdest yet really nicest pizzas I've ever had was at a restaurant once, and it was salmon. It had like big chunks of like salmon on it. It was actually really awesome. I think maybe because it was just so different, but I love salmon. Yeah, you name a meat, I'll put it on there. It doesn't faze me as much. It's more about the sauces and the ratio of toppings to cheese for me.
Ratio
than
is a
anything.
big deal.
Yeah. You can't have too many
Follow
people
up.
Totally agree.
and I know it's not traditional Italian, but you got to have plenty of cheese as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Except for stuffed
follow-up
crust.
to that.
That's gross.
Hey, you settle down.
follow-up.
You watch your mouth.
You like, stuffed crust? Too much. Okay, anyway.
A follow
Now-
up, okay?
This could be an American thing.
Maybe.
I'm very curious what you do or what your preference is, or if other people do it in Australia. Ranch dressing, blue cheese with your pizza.
Yes.
What?
And which one?
Like what? To like
Ranch.
dip it in?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you dip yours in ranch?
Yep.
So good.
You dip
Yep.
your pizza in dressing.
Ranch dressing.
What is
Yeah.
wrong with you people?
It's so
Try
good.
it next time. You really should try it.
No,
I'm
That's
telling
not.
you.
That's not a thing.
that is so
Nobody
far
would
not
do
a
that.
thing. I've never heard of that in my life.
It's so good. So
You people just always like that's the other thing that I've seen.
We love
Americans
sauce.
do like dipping like
very saucy.
chips into like milkshakes and shit. I'm like, is this just an American thing? It's on movies and stuff. I've seen it heaps of times.
Well,
Because
Wendy's
Americans
only.
just like dipping
Wendy
things
fries.
into other things.
Wendy fries and a Frosty. That's
yeah,
a thing.
see?
But that's the only time
don't
I
do
did
that.
it.
Yeah, I don't do
Have you
that.
tried it? It's pretty good. What about, okay, I'm wondering,
Seriously, dip pizza in that's blowing
it's
my
really
mind.
good and I really think you should try it. You would,
I think you should try
I
it.
think I'm okay.
Just try it.
Eat
Do-
my
do you-
pizza
do you
like
own
a
ranch
normal
dressing?
person. Do I own a ranch dressing?
Yeah.
No.
Ah, okay. We'll skip
What
this then.
about, okay, I'm wondering if this
I
is
don't
a
do
Utah
salad
thing.
dressing.
Do you guys ever mix mayonnaise and ketchup to make a fry
What?
sauce to dip your fries in?
Make ketchup and A's.
Have you had it before, Sarah?
Mayo.
Do you know is that a thing? You've
Oh,
heard of fry sauce?
wait. The bigger question is, you put mayonnaise on chips.
Like chips, as in regular chips or fries?
Fries.
It's the same thing.
Fries.
French fries.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know, but
No.
But like I don't dip a potato chip is what I mean. But like French
What do you
fries,
think
yes.
a fry is?
I'm saying well, because chips and fries can be synonymous some places. So, but fries, I'll dip a French fry in, and it's mixed tomato, or I mean ketchup and mayonnaise.
I think dipping things
Yeah.
might be a very American thing by the sounds of it, because you guys
And
just like
so
to
if you,
dip stuff in stuff.
it's so good
We
though.
dip
Okay,
dips and
you guys
dips.
should try it.
Oh, it's
If
gross.
you ask for
It's
fry
gross.
sauce, that's what it is here. People know. Ketchup
Fry
and
sauce?
mayonnaise.
I know what it is, but no, thank you.
Oh
Give
man,
me ketchup and Cholula.
I don't even eat
I
ketchup.
do love
here.
Cholula too. Have you jalapeno ketchup? That's really good too.
I feel
Try
like this
that.
has turned into a weird cooking show.
Okay, wait, whose question is it?
I think it's Michelle's.
Is it my turn? Okay.
Yeah.
Should we stay on the fruit train? No, we should move off. We're going to move away from the food. Okay. So if you could go back in time, what would you tell yourself as a student?
I had that question too.
You
I would say, actually, I don't know. It depends what reality we're working in. See, this is my logical brain kicking in, saying, if I say anything, it's going to change everything, and I like where I've ended up. So maybe I don't want to say anything at all. No?
you
See, this is my
that's
logical
not
brain.
what the question is asking.
You
See,
have
the
to answer
logical
the question.
Probably
Let's not get too deep here. What do you wish you would have known?
Probably go to more class.
You didn't plan to go
Did
to
you-
class, so you dismissed them.
You skipped class a lot?
I might have. I can neither
But you're a
confirm
professor
or
now.
deny.
Oh my, what
I
an
wasn't
example.
back then.
Oh my goodness. See?
I'm the first one to say I was probably not the greatest student. It didn't align with my learning style.
Yeah.
Sarah, I don't believe that. You weren't a good student?
You don't believe
I don't believe
that?
that's true.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I went to class.
Well, that's
I was like thinking
More than I did.
valedictorian.
Me or Brock?
Yeah. I was thinking
Not
like
me.
4.0.
I worked hard. I'll say that. I worked hard, but looking back, I feel like I could have been more engaged as a student. I could have done a lot more things, and I think it's because I really didn't know. I knew I liked OT, but I didn't know that much about it. So I think I was like waiting for things to start to connect, and it took me into actually starting to practice. And I think actually getting into like early intervention, that I'm like, yeah, this is my jam. Learning about some of the other stuff, like it just didn't interest me as much. So I could have been better. I worked hard. I tried hard. I got decent grades, but maybe I was also surrounded by a lot of people that were like really, really smart and like got it and like really tried. And not that I didn't try, but I just didn't put my full effort into it. But I think my answer to your question would be, if I could go back, I would tell myself that believe in yourself. I think I was very hard on who I was and what I was capable, and I like kind of always underestimated what I could do. And when you're a student, when you're a fresh new grad, it's okay not to know everything, and also understand that you know more than you're going to give yourself credit for. So yeah, I'd say believe in yourself.
That was a lot deeper answer than I gave.
I love that. Never mind. You weren't a feeling. You were a T. I was going to say she's a feeler, but you're the ENTJ. Still have deep. She still has. You guys both have deep feelings. You just didn't share yours with us, Brock.
I didn't have any feelings about it. I was tapped out. What about you?
I think I would tell myself to enjoy the time of being a student, because it goes by so quickly. And when you're in it, I think it's stressful, and you have a lot of those feelings that you were talking about, Sarah, of like some of the imposter syndrome or feeling like maybe I'm not doing good enough or all of those things. But the time goes by so quick, and then you're graduated and you're in the field. And so I remember after I graduated and I was working, I was like, wait. This is what every day of my life is going to look like. Like every day now I'm working 9 to 5 or whatever it is. And when you're in OT school, you just have so much more flexibility to learn about different things and your class schedule. I think really enjoy that time, especially if you're away at college and live in the college life. Yeah, I think live it up. Live it up.
Is it weird that I actually knew you when you were a student?
Yes, it's true. See, and I was like such a perfectionist. You guys maybe wouldn't.
Yeah,
I don't know if you would have thought. I don't know if you would have thought that about me, but yeah, I was very like studious, perfectionist. Yeah. So
I believe that 100%.
So yeah, I think I miss more class is the what the rule of thumb is. No, but yeah, I think have fun, enjoy it. Don't be so hard on yourself.
I like it.
Okay,
I like it too.
Sarah, what do you have for us?
Mike, should I go deep? Should I go silly? Let's do. Okay. What is one thing that most people don't believe you when you tell them this? Something about yourself.
I already know yours.
I don't know. It's fine.
Oh, I think I know what yours is too. I think anybody that listens to your podcast, they know.
Maybe.
I don't want to out you. I want to give you the option to come up with something different, but I think we know.
I'm going to challenge her to come up with something different because everyone else knows that one. Everyone else knows you're shy, so I'm going to challenge you to come up with something different.
Oh, you just gave her answer.
Yep. I know. I'm calling her out.
Now
so
she has to come up with her
another
own
one. No cop outs here.
Yeah, we're rewriting your story. You're coming up with new things. Pulling you out of the comfort zone.
Challenging you. Something that no one believes me. I don't know. I like to think I'm very believable. Or very convincing. I don't know. No one believes me that I did a tour of Europe for sports when I was in high school.
Ooh. What sport?
Soccer.
Really? Cool. That's awesome. I did not know that about you.
See?
I didn't know it, but I would believe it if you told me that. I'd be like, yeah, of course you did.
That's where the keeper nickname comes from.
Oh, it's all making sense. You just don't talk about soccer that much. So I didn't know that that was something that you were really passionate about. That's awesome.
See? And that's why no one believes me.
So if you were like a weightlifting competition, I'd be like, oh yeah, totally makes sense.
Yeah. No one believes me that I was a powerlifter.
I'm also totally like analyzing now because I'm like, I know your logical brain now that I know every question. I'm like, oh, he's really like thinking in depth on this. His logical side. I love it.
That's how I roll. What's yours? What does no one believe about Michelle?
Gosh. Well, I don't know. See, now I'm getting deep. I don't know. I was a preemie. I don't know. People would probably guess. I don't know if they would guess
really?
that. I was a third.
Why would they guess that?
I don't know.
You know what?
You said you were a twin.
You look like a preemie.
No.
So I was a 30-weeker. So
wow.
A pretty small little one. Mm-hmm.
How would people? I'm still confused about how people.
Well, I don't.
People would just assume this about me. I'm like, really? How? Like, I feel like I'm missing something.
No, I mean, like, I don't know if it's that, like, I guess maybe it is surprising,
Is that a
but like, I
common
don't
thing
know.
for twins or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it is really common
Yeah.
for twins. So, yeah.
What about the fact that you're a twin? Would people who don't know your sister or have ever seen it believe you? Because I know I didn't until I saw a
I
photo.
guess people maybe, yeah, on this podcast that don't know I have a twin, but most people in this area for sure know I have a twin.
I reckon if we put a photo of your twin in the artwork, no one would notice.
Oh, should we swap her out one time? Or swap her in, I mean?
We should challenge
Should we
anyone
make
who's
her be a
listening.
guest?
Anyone who's listening to this, tell me if it's Michelle or her twin in the artwork. Send us a message,
Okay.
comment, let us know, and we'll
We should.
I'll flip a coin and see which one ends up in there.
Okay.
And
We
you
should
can
have
tell us.
and maybe sometime I'll just send her instead of me. Like I'll be like, oh, I can't make this podcast, and I'll just send her.
Yeah.
She's a speech therapist though, so she might be able to like.
She'd be great.
She understands the therapy world. She could totally hang.
That would be trippy.
Yeah.
Okay, Sarah, so we know what was your initial answer?
Oh, well,
Was
yeah,
I
you
right?
guys. Yes, you guys nailed it. The big thing when I meet people now, I tell them that I was extremely shy growing up. People don't believe me when I say that. And I mean to the point where people thought that I didn't talk. And I think now, having some more information about it, I think I had my own sensory processing, sensory modulation issues going on, and internalized a lot of things and would only talk if I really felt comfortable. And a lot of the times when you're growing up, you don't feel comfortable when you're around big groups of people and all that kind of stuff. So originally, yes, that would be my answer. Had to think, but if I couldn't use my shy card, I would say that people do not believe me when I tell them that I've never had braces.
I can see that because your teeth are like freaky straight and freaky perfect.
Yep, that is surprising.
Yeah, I could picture that. I
Yeah.
would think
everyone
if
thinks
you'd
I'm lying.
said you had braces, I'll be like, yeah, that makes sense
Yeah.
because they're like scary straight and scary perfect.
We'll have to put a big picture of my like teeth on
It'll
the
be
title so
on
people can go look at it.
On the graphic, it'll be Michelle's sister and your teeth.
And
Yeah, should I zoom in?
Monkey Broccoli.
And Monkey
Is that his
Broccoli.
name?
That'll be the three things.
Yes.
Perfect.
That will be the weirdest graphic you've ever seen. But I like it.
It's perfect.
All right. What is which way do I want to go with this?
See? That's what happened to me.
I have two questions and they're kind of like almost opposites. Proudest accomplishment. Doesn't have to be OT related. Actually, let's make it not OT related. Proudest accomplishment.
That's a good.
I'll go. So, not OT related. That like knocked off like a bunch of mine. But
I know.
I would say when I was in college, this would have been my senior year. Well, I did it three of the 4 years, but I competed competitively riding horses, doing hunter jumper equitation type stuff. And I would say probably one of the biggest accomplishments that I felt was when I was a senior at my college. I was a one-woman team, and I ended up getting the highest amount of points in the highest division that you can be in. It's the open division. And if you got that, you were able to basically represent your region for the Cashionne Cup at nationals. So my senior year, one woman team, I'm competing against all these other teams that have coaches and their own barns, and they have tens, hundreds of people on their equestrian teams. And here I come, and I represented my school as the only equestrian team member in the hardest division at nationals.
That's epic.
Yeah,
I
it's
love it.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that's rad. I like it.
I love how proud you were when you said that too. Like
Yeah.
you could feel it. And I think
Like
that we
fist
don't always
pumps and-
celebrate ourselves. So that was awesome.
Yeah, like
There you go.
everyone's like, what school is this? Do they even have an equestrian team? Who is this person? Like, even in my region, I was the smallest team, of course, because most at least had 5 to 10 people on it. So a lot of the other schools, like a lot of other bigger schools, would kind of like adopt me, and I just like knew everybody because I would show up to these horse shows. Basically, it's me and my parents. Like, hey guys, here I am. Like, I'm going to represent Pepperdine University. And when we made it to nationals, all the big schools are like, who is this person? We've never heard of the school before. So, got to represent.
It sounds like a movie. It's like the underdog
Maybe it should
comes
be.
through and wins. Maybe. The first equestrian movie. I like it.
Yeah.
How about you, Michelle? Proudest accomplishment?
Well, so I don't know. You'll have to tell me. It's on the verge of OT related. So you'll have to tell me if you feel like this counts. But so as I mentioned earlier, I'm a yoga instructor, and from my like alternate profession that I'd be interested in is like mind body health practices and stuff like that. So I'm really interested in that. And as you guys know, hospitals, we're kind of starting to get a little bit more like into alternative medicine, but it's mostly obviously just a medical model. And so after I completed my yoga teacher training, that was something that I wanted to do, was to bring more of these practices to a medical setting. So it wasn't doing OT technically, but I built the first ever therapeutic yoga program for the hospital that I worked at. Not yoga, therapeutic yoga, not occupational therapy. And so
Just walking that fine line there.
it's a fine line, I know, but I'm not doing OT.
No, it's okay. It still qualifies.
Okay, so
We're always doing OT.
I know, life is OT, okay? Anything we could say. Riding a horse is an occupation. But I built the first ever therapeutic yoga program for kids at the hospital. And so I had to do all the marketing and building the program and get supplies donated and stuff like that. And it was the first time that they'd ever had a yoga program for kids. And we did work on like some regulation type stuff as well as yoga. So that might not quite count, but it was yoga. And that was something really unique to the hospital. So I felt really proud of that.
I'm very proud of you for that. Yeah. Here I am like, hey guys, I want an award. And you're like, look at me. I just built this program.
Oh my gosh, no.
Judging.
I mean,
not here to compare achievements.
We're not comparing. And so, yeah, I think I was proud of myself for going for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't think I have anything that deep. I actually struggle to do this because I'm probably similar to what Michelle was saying before. I probably don't celebrate the wins as often as I should. And I have like lots of little things that I can think of, but nothing that stands out as sort of one proudest ever achievement that's not OT related. I mean, that European soccer tour was pretty cool. Competing at nationals for powerlifting was pretty cool. They're probably the two sort of main things that sort of stand out. I think just becoming an adult. I don't know. I don't really have a one thing. That's not kind of how I think, even though I know that's the question that I asked. But yeah, let's say one of those two things.
Here's the thing that I was thinking, and I'm getting deep over here, the feeling side of me. But I was thinking about this, that we always like when we're talking about like something we're proud of, like we always think like, oh, it has to be something that I was like first at or the best out of everybody. But like, I don't know, something that I really admire about you, Brock, is that you have so many different hobbies and you're really good at teaching yourself new things. And I think that's something that I really admire about you, is that anything that you want to learn, like you're able to learn it. And I think that that's something that's so impressive. So I don't know, but this question, isn't it interesting? Like how you start to feel all kind of like antsy when somebody asks you what you're proud of about yourself. Like you almost feel like you need to either diminish your accomplishments, or you don't feel like they're good enough. So,
Yeah, I just think for me, it's like, it'd be almost like picking your favorite child. It's like if I'm saying that this is my proudest achievement, it kind of, I guess, degrades anything else you've done. That's why I
right,
think I'm like, I like all of it.
right.
I'm just a big fan of everything.
I do
Like
think that's why I struggled to answer, because I'm like, okay, this is a big accomplishment, but there's so many other things that I'm also proud of. And I was like, well, if I say one, okay, I have to stick to one because that was the question. So yeah, I'm sure
mm-hmm.
there's others, but that came to mind and I'm just going with it.
Right. I feel like truthfully, one of the most rewarding things, or that I'm the most proud of, is being an aunt. Like I love my nieces and nephew. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know, that's like, they're my world. And so that's like, I didn't do anything to bring them into this world, but you know, I just being their aunt is one of the best things in my whole life. So,
See you again with the deep,
okay.
like, answer.
Yeah,
You're putting the rest of us to
I
shame.
know.
My God.
Whatever.
All this feeling that
I
you've
thought
got.
you were gonna like brush your shoulder off
Oh,
on
yeah.
that one. And you're like, yeah, I know.
No, I was itching my nose.
Nose.
I know.
Itching
See, now
my
we know
belly
so
button.
much about each other. I have the deep feeling.
Know which button tickles.
Okay. All right. I think we should keep on this sentimental train, maybe, you know, me being a feeler. Let's keep on that train. I
We
want
fit
to
in.
know, what is, so I interviewed somebody and they referred to, like, when you go through something challenging, you can have like a victim mentality where you take a victim role, or you can have what she called a hero's journey. So where you really take the upper road, you learn something from it. You're a hero. And that doesn't mean that you have to like accomplish something big, but it means that you kind of take the higher road and you really learn something from it. So I want to know, what was something that you overcame and took a hero's journey in, with something to do with the OT. So, or if you want to share something deep of your life, you certainly can, of your hero's journey, but maybe something that was hard in occupational therapy. Could be when you were a student or practitioner, and how you took the hero's journey.
So,
Getting deep.
yeah. So the first thing that came to mind, and now that it was the first thing that came to mind, it's the only thing that's coming to mind. Like I used to be really shy. This is like in high school. I was kind of
I
the
don't believe that.
introverted extrovert.
You two are blowing my mind with the shy stuff here.
I know, and like I
You
would
scored E.
I know, well now, but like I would struggle to like even just have conversations with people I didn't know. So it was one of those things where I was like, can't even remember why I decided, but I decided like I'm gonna train myself out of it. So I just literally started doing things that made me really uncomfortable, like just walking through the shopping center and just saying g'day to random people as I walk past, and making sure that when I was sort of at the checkout that I would start a conversation with the person that I was like, that was dealing with whatever I was buying, that kind of stuff. And eventually I kind of got used to it and got out of that habit, or not habit, but sort of, I guess, broke that sort of shyness. And now I can't shut up. So I don't know whether it was a good thing or not, but it was definitely something where I consciously took the reins and decided that I'm gonna change this about me. So yeah, that was the first thing that came to mind.
I so relate to that, and that could easily be my answer, but I'll come up with something else. I think for me, specifically OT related, my answer would have to be probably starting my private practice, because when my husband, well, let me back up. I came home one day and I was just completely venting about how things were going. And I had been practicing for 4 or 5 years at that point. And my husband was like, why don't you just start your own company? And I was like, I laughed at him. Like, I legit thought that it was a ridiculous comment and something that I could never achieve. I never considered myself to be entrepreneurial. I never dreamed of starting a business. Like, so many people now, when I talk to them, they're selling candy bars on the playground, and they're like, they have something that they did in their past that like shows that they were going to be an entrepreneur later on in life. And I just felt like I was never that person. So when the seed got planted, I was, yeah, there's no way. I don't have an MBA. I don't know anything about business. I don't know anything about legal. I don't know anything about managing the finances of a company. I don't know anything about hiring people. I know how to be an OT. I don't know how to do anything outside of that. And I think really kind of similar to like what Brock was saying, like I just had to jump in and learn and overcome it. And now I can see other people where they're like, you know, I have this idea, but I don't think I can do it. And I'm like, you can, because I was that person. I totally understand where you're coming from. So yeah, I think that would be my journey.
Nice.
Love it. Oh, me. One of the, so actually, this was maybe should have been what your, one of your questions was about what somebody wouldn't know about me. I think it was your question, Brock. But one of my, where I took the hero's journey was I actually, when I applied to OT school, I was waitlisted. Oh. And it like crushed me, because if you know me, like I was so passionate about OT and like that's really what I wanted. And it was really hard to accept, because I had actually applied at the same time with a really close friend of mine, and we opened our letters together, and I should have known, because I feel like mine was smaller than hers. Well, we were on the phone, but it did not come in a big envelope, just to prep anyone for if it's coming for you. They probably do it online nowadays, but anyway. And I found out that I had been waitlisted, and it really crushed me, because that was something that I had really worked towards and I was really excited about. And I think it really messed with my self-esteem for a little bit, because I was also working at that time for an occupational therapist. So I felt like I had all this experience. And so anyway, I ended up getting into the program that same year. So I don't know what ended up happening, but I ended up getting into the program. And I feel like I took the hero's journey, because instead of really taking that victim mentality of assuming that I was at the bottom of the class, which I think is kind of normal in that situation, to feel like, well, I was waitlisted and I'm not good enough to be here. I really tried to push myself and learn from it and believe in myself. And I ended up being a pretty decent student. And so, yeah, I took a hero's journey.
That's awesome. I said, unlike some of us.
I'm like, I know.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's my
that's
hero.
something
that's
no one would
journey.
ever have guessed.
Yeah. It's funny, because even saying that out loud, it still feels like embarrassing a little bit, like it's something that I really had to work through for a while, because I didn't want anybody to know that I was waitlisted or anything like that. But it really doesn't say anything about you. I think how you show up is what it shows. So.
And I think a lot of people relate to that, because I'm sure others have also been waitlisted or not accepted to the program that they wanted to get into, maybe even more than once. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think that's very deep, and I'm glad that you're able to share that now, because I'm sure it was probably hard.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. All right. Last round. What do you guys think?
All right.
One more, or are we good?
I think I'm going, and then Sarah's going. And then we'll
you're going.
wrap
Okay.
this up.
Let's hear it.
So, this isn't a question that I actually had prepared, but I just thought of it before and now I'm curious. Taking you back in time a little bit, what was your initial thought / reaction when I pitched the OT Roundtable to you?
Oh my gosh.
Michelle, go first.
Oh, honestly, inadequacy was the first thing that came to my mind. I think about myself. Was that imposter syndrome again of feeling like, am I going to measure up? How will I do at this? But then also like simultaneously really honored that you thought of me and that you reached out to me, and nervous, excited.
You did
All of
take a
those
little
things.
bit more convincing than Sarah.
I did.
You did.
Yeah. Well, I'd been out of the podcasting world for so long. But I have a lot of gratitude because it's been so much fun, and you guys have totally dragged me back into this world. So it's been fun.
Sarah, what was your initial
What was your reaction when I said yes?
Oh, I knew you were going to say yes because that was the only answer I was going to accept. So,
Oh,
my initial reaction when you said yes was like, okay, cool. Now I can go and
okay.
organize other things.
Let's go.
We're done now. See, that's
Let's
just
start
my
planning.
logical, like, yep, okay, here's the outcome I wanted. Let's move on.
Check.
Yep, tick. Sarah?
My initial reaction was like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's do it. I was really, really excited at the beginning. And then I was like, oh gosh, more editing, more prep, more like all the steps that you have to do. And I think I got a little bogged down in the details of it. And then also because we had talked about not editing and then also putting up the video live. So I was like, ooh, all right. So initially I was super excited. And then I kind of had that like, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm going to push myself and I'm going to make it work. And I'm glad we're here.
Here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, I can't really answer
Yep.
this because I was the one that
You
pitched
should
it, so
you should share how you came up with the idea and what
I stole it.
prompted you to ask us. Did you
So
feel
there-
our egos for a little bit?
Modified.
No.
I
Modified.
borrowed the concept. No, there's a podcast called the Podcasters Roundtable, where they have a couple of regular hosts and they have a couple of guests usually each episode, and for that one they generally talk about like podcasting stuff that's been in the news or like recent sort of topics in the space of podcasting, and the guests are the ones that usually bring those topics to the table. And yeah, they just have a general discussion about it. It's a basic no stress. I don't even think they have any theme music. There's nothing. It's real simple, but the content is really good, and the discussions that happen because of as they sort of pull apart these articles and that kind of stuff. And the different perspectives they get from, some of the guests are brand new podcasters or podcasters from all like different spaces. I believe Sarah's even had one of the people that was on that as a guest on hers now as well.
Yep.
On OT for Life. But yeah, I just really like the concept of like having like these sort of broader discussions around OT things and bringing in guests, but having that sort of constant of the co-hosts and then bringing in someone else and just having it a discussion more about, I guess, my occupied is often more around the person and their practice. And I guess my thought for this was to be more about the topic than the people. So unlike except for this episode, obviously.
It's all about us.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that was the general gist of it. And yeah, and then I was like, I already know who I want to do it, and we went from there. And now is now.
And we're 6 episodes in.
6 in, going strong.
6 in. Okay, so that's going to lead me right into the last question. Where do you want to see occupational therapy go in 10 years, 20 years in the future?
Mars. No.
Bring it.
This could be a really deep question too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would like to see the therapy have a more unified professional identity, because everyone within the profession is now able to easily and comfortably discuss OT and occupation with anyone else. That's what I would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle's like, I just want to go
Is
hiking in
Sarah
the woods.
frozen or is she sitting?
Are
Okay.
you frozen? Are you there?
I thought you were frozen. I was like, is she saying something? I think honestly, I think, and some of that obviously is just with the world events that we're having. I think I would like to see more diversity in our practice, and like specifically in AOTA. I think that would be really great to see some different representation. And yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. I think having more diversity, I think, will really strengthen our practice. And I think for a long time, it hasn't really been that way. So.
Great answer.
Nice. Sarah?
Mm-hmm. I really want to see occupational therapy just continue to push into new and emerging practice areas, expand our boundaries. I think that ties into increased awareness and understanding for the general public to understand who we are and know who we are and what we do. Also, that kind of ties into like having an increased presence in preventative care, primary care, really getting in at the beginning. And also OT entrepreneurship. I really want to see more people getting into entrepreneurship and breaking the traditional medical model that's out there and really showcasing our skills in the way that they should be.
Yeah, that could have been my answer. You sound like me.
Bam. Man.
Mic drop.
We're the same person.
I know. Mic drop.
Apparently
Seriously,
we
you
are.
too. You too.
According to
You
all
guys are the
tests.
cutest. Love it. Love the passion.
Yeah. So there we have it. That was a lot of fun. And I think we all learned a lot about ourselves and each other that we didn't know kind of going into this.
It's yeah, I definitely have. And myself, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea, right?
That's
Yeah.
it. Self-reflection. Reflection. Preach it, gotta live it.
And I think that is just the sign of like a good podcast when even us as hosts can sit back and be like, wow, let's reflect on that. There was a lot there. And yeah, I feel like I do that all the time. Anytime I record, I'm just like, didn't realize that. Okay, let me go think about that a little bit more.
I thought that was so fun. I thought it was a really good mix of just like surprising and funny. And I laughed so hard at some of the questions. But then I feel like rubbing my nose. But then I feel like I learned a lot about you guys. I feel like I know you on a deep Myers-Briggs level.
Oh, we just got closer.
We did.
Well, I hope that you enjoyed learning a little bit more about the hosts of the OT Roundtable today. If you want to listen to any of our other episodes, you can head on over to the otroundtable.com. And Brock, what about you? Where can people find you on the interweb?
Pretty easy to find, but occupiedpodcast.com is probably the easiest way, because that's got all of my links all in the one spot.
And Michelle?
You can find me at incorporatemindfulness.com.
And as for me, you can find me at otforlife.com. That's OT, the number 4, LYFE.com. And thanks for joining us today.